president of ZOA, Zionists of America, put out a statement following the president's proclamation on the Holocaust, saying that the omission of Jews and what they experienced was, quote, painful, unquote. Is the president aware of some of the criticism from the American Jewish community, and does he plan to do anything about it?
Well, I think he's aware of what people have been saying, but I think by and large he's been praised for it. I think the president recognized the tremendous loss of life that came from the Holocaust, but I think with respect to Israel and the Jewish people specifically, there's been no better friend than Donald Trump when it comes to protecting Israel, building a better friendship with Israel. You look at what Prime Minister Netanyahu's talked about. He welcomes this administration. He appreciates the friendship and respect that he has shown to Israel and to the Jewish people. But to suggest otherwise, John, I frankly got to be honest. I mean, the president went out of his way to recognize the Holocaust and the suffering that went through it and the people that were affected by it and the loss of life, and to make sure that America never forgets what so many people went through, whether they were Jews or gypsies, gays, disability, I mean, priests. And I get it, but at the end of the day, I don't think when you look at the state of Israel or the Jewish people themselves, I think there's been no better friend to Donald Trump, especially after the last 8 years. The tremendous respect that he's shown Israel, the Jewish people, and to suggest anything otherwise is frankly a little disappointing.
Last night, the Republican Jewish Coalition called it an unfortunate omission that the White House did not acknowledge the Jewish people or anti-Semitism.
President Bush's acknowledgement either.
It was President Bush did mention anti-Semitism. So,
I think
can you explain why you decided to depart from bipartisan tradition of two presidents?
It's not. The statement was written with the help of an individual who's both Jewish and the descendants of Holocaust survivors. To suggest that remembering the Holocaust and acknowledging all of the people, Jewish, gypsies, priests, disabled, gays, and lesbians, I mean, it is pathetic that people are picking on a statement. I remember we issued a statement at Christmas time calling Christ the King, and many of the reporters that are in this room and otherwise started wondering whether we're referring to the King as the president-elect. Do you know how offensive that was to Christians? I mean, the idea that you're nitpicking a statement that sought to remember this tragic event that occurred and the people who died in it is just ridiculous. I think he acknowledged the suffering that existed and wants to make sure that it's enshrined in the American people's memory so that something like this never, ever happens again. And I think to sit there and suggest that he was trying to single out anything in a people of which he has shown such tremendous respect for and such a willingness in terms of the state of Israel to go out there and show the partnership that needs to exist between us and the respect. And when you contrast that, frankly, a statement, and you look at the actions of the last administration, the Iran nuclear deal, them giving Palestine an equal footing in terms of the amendment that was passed to the UN Security Council on their way out the door, to compare a statement that remembers the Holocaust with the actions of the last 8 years and the disrespect that was shown to Israel is unbelievable. Where were the questions about the UN Security Council resolution that came forward and the idea of this unprecedented step that the outgoing administration took as a massive slap in the face of Israel? Where were the questions then?
The statement.
No, I didn't.
Sean?
Did I say that? No.
You mentioned that.
I know what I said. I didn't say Jared's name.
It was not.
I'm not. But I'm just saying. No, I'm not getting into who wrote it. But he has several members of the Jewish faith on his senior staff, and to suggest that it was an omission of anything else is kind of ridiculous. Yeah.